Pricing your commodity well is the best way to make sure it sells. In today's video, I'm going to explain, according to my own experience and expertise and the experience and expertise of people who have been doing this much longer than me, my mentors in the field, how you can sell any property type as long as you do the following things. Always, this is Sam from SaberiSixRealEstate. Subscribe, comment, rate, and review. You can find my contact information in the description box and make many different types of videos. You can go check them out all right now. And I'm always open to constructive feedback. Tell me if you agree, if you disagree, what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong. Let's get to the video. So as I previously stated, I said I can tell you how to sell any property type, and this I can break down into the 5 P's. Now the 5 P's is something I made up myself. Maybe there is literature out on it in maybe sales textbooks, economics, marketing textbooks, whatever it may be. All I can say is though, it really closely resembles the 4 P's of marketing, which is a concept within marketing, and it is different, but it resembles that. So I drew inspiration from that, so you can go watch videos and read literature on the 4 P's of marketing. And in my frank opinion, and it's just not my opinion, it's the opinion of people who have been doing this longer than me, my mentors in the field, although I've been doing it for a relatively long time now, I've surmised that if you do these things and you do it right, 95 out of 100 times, which is 95%, you'll be able to sell your house. So quickly, I'm going to run down the 5 P's. No P is more important than the other. It's just the 5 P's. And then I will explain each in detail how it relates to properties, real estate, and land. The 5 P's are as follows: place, promotion, price, position, and placement. So let's start with position. Position is all about what position you have within the market. So you have a product, you have a good. Product, by the way, is one of the P's in marketing. But you have a product, you have a good, you have a commodity. And that commodity serves a general purpose. So that's how your commodity is differentiated from all the other commodity types. But within one category of commodity, there are subcategories. Real estate being a prime example. Commodity within real estate obviously being housing and properties. That is your product. And that as a general category for commodities and products is differentiated from other types of commodities and products. But within properties and real estate, there are different subcategories. There's detached homes, there's bungalow homes, condominiums, rental. You can keep going on and on and on. So position is all about what type of commodity you have, and exactly in the subcategories, what is your exact specific commodity, what subcategory does it fall under, and what kind of use is it to the consumer. Where is your position in the marketplace? Let's go with an example, right? You want to sell your house. Your house, let's say you evaluated, you've asked many agents around, you've had an appraiser come through, you've done your own research, and whereabouts you end up in terms of the price range is $650,000. Now, any good real estate agent who you want to work with to sell this property, first thing they will have to tell you is, who is this property gonna serve? Who is gonna be the consumer base for this property? So your property is $650,000. Off the bat, we know it's not a luxury property, at least not where I work and live in Toronto. Through price, which we'll get to as one of the other P's, curated a bunch of potential consumers, not who you're trying to placate to or advertise or promote your property to. Within the actual property type, there's also different ways where you can position yourself, right? So let's say you're working with me, your house, I say $650,000, you can sell it for $650,000. You look at your property, I look at your property and I say, well, this is a bungalow. And typically people who purchase bungalows are either builders or older people. And that's true. So now we already know not only that it's not a luxury property, as a result, people who are seeking luxury properties are not who you're trying to go after as buyers. Now we know further in more detail the options you have in terms of the subsect. So builders and older people. And this is not to say that necessarily so that people who are not either a builder or older won't purchase your property or won't put an offer, or we should not promote or placate to their needs, but it's simply to say that the position we are occupying within the vast marketplace of real estate is this position exactly, something that would be more apt for builders or older people. And even within bungalows, you have different subcategories therein, further and furthermore. Now, I had a friend once say, a friend in this business, that the best sort of marketing is price. And price is the most important marketing. And price in this sense relates to position, because I used in the position explanation the example of price. But even more so, if your property is correctly priced, accurately priced, within reason, obviously, because you can always want to put room for negotiations, either up or down, right? Sometimes you purposely undervalue a property, you underprice it, so you get a bidding war and people negotiating against one each other, leveraging buyers' offers against one another to get the best price, potentially a little bit higher than it's actually worth. Or other times you price it higher than it's actually worth because you know people are going to try to knock down the price, so you price it maybe a little above what you're ending up at in the future. Whatever it is, that's within reason. But what's more important is that it's priced well within reason. So if your property is actually really worth $600 to $650 and you want to price it at $670, that's fine, because you're telling yourself, I'm telling you, let's leave room for negotiating. But if your property is actually worth $600 to $650 and you have the expectation of $720, unless I'm a magician or I lie to you, most likely that property won't sell well or sell efficiently within the time span you need. Pricing your commodity well is the best way to make sure it sells. Not only sells at a price you want, but sells in an efficient manner. Place. Place is the next P. Now, place is obvious. Area. Where is your area? Where is the neighborhood that your property belongs in? If in your neighborhood, it's not a good time to sell, and in every other neighborhood, it's a better time to sell, that doesn't mean that you try to ride the wave of the other neighborhoods. Maybe in your neighborhood, it would be worth your while, obviously everything else being equal. You don't need to sell for some reason, but you trying to see if you could. If that's the case, then you probably should sit it out a while longer, because in your specific community, in your specific neighborhood, you'd be selling too low. Place also obviously impacts position, because if you have a very family-oriented neighborhood with a lot of ravines, parks, schools in the area, elementary schools and high schools potentially, it wouldn't necessarily make sense for you to position your property in the market for for instance, a investor who's going to rent it out to college students. Not saying it can't happen, it won't happen, it wouldn't be good, but generally speaking. Also, the material conditions of the area affect the property value. The factory nearby, right, or it's underneath the path of airplanes, or there's a train nearby, anything else you can think of. There's a lot of construction in the city. They're replacing the water mains in the entire community, so there's construction for 6 months to a year. All that impacts it. When I say place, you can't control the place, but you can see what are the positives and negatives of the area where your house resides in, and according to those positives and negatives at that very moment, decide to enter the market or not. And if you choose to enter the market when the place, the area of your property is conducive to you selling it, along with the other P's, then you are definitely going to have a good time and have a easier time selling your property. The second to last P is placement, not placement. And what I mean by this is timing. I didn't want to say 4 P's and a T, so I just put placement, of the placement in time in which you're selling, to make it sound a little bit better, right? So timing is what I really mean by placement, because, despite what other realtors might tell you, is not the case that it's the right time to sell every time you talk to them. Some people are after commission, and you know what? Let them be. But me and other realtors who I trust, we tell our homeowners if it's the right time to sell or not. And sometimes the market conditions lead me to conclude that for your specific case, it might not be the best time to sell. Use the same bungalow example, right? So if it's the case that there's a lot of construction happening, and builders typically are attracted to bungalows because the lots are big, so they can either build a big detached 2-story home or split the lot, build 2 properties. If the pace of construction and the demand for big lots within the market at that time is high, and your place is right, then why not? I think you should probably sell. Unless obviously you don't want to for family reasons, you love the neighborhood. All that aside, if you're thinking of selling, that placement would be the right time. Therefore, getting more for your money if you had otherwise sold previously where the condo market was really hot, but the detached market was struggling. Placement, timing, that's what I mean. And if you have the placement right, you're really good. And the last P, let's talk about the last P, shall we? The last P, in my opinion, and you're gonna be surprised that this is just my opinion, is the least important P. And this is gonna be controversial, promotion. Because, not that promotion is not important. Social media, old hard copy materials such as flyers, postcards, networking, marketing, whatever it may be. Promotion is key. Don't get it twisted. You cannot go without promotion. However, if one of these P's, I would say you can afford to sacrifice, but keep the other the other four would be promotion. Because if your price is right, if your position is down, if you've picked the right time, placement, and your area is fantastic place, if all these four are in tune and flush with each other, and you've done your due diligence, your agent has done their due diligence to make sure all these four are good, then the buyers will come. They might not come at the same pace if you also have promotion as well, but they will come. Now envision this scenario where you have promotion but you don't have any of the other four, or maybe you have the other two but don't have two of those. The buyers will not come, no matter how much you dress up a property, how good the photos are, how good the video tour is, the 3D virtual tour. It does not matter, because if you don't have place, if you don't have position, if you don't have price, and you don't have timing, placement, you have all the promotion in the world, it will not sell your property. I'm afraid to tell you so. Anyways, I'm exhausted, I'm thirsty, I'm gonna drink my water. I've been talking for a long time and I've been yelling at the microphone. My contact info is in the description box. Feel free to get in touch. Subscribe, comment, rate, and review. Thanks for watching and stay tuned.